Welcome to Digital Asset News. We take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down into bite-sized pieces. Before we get started, let's do a little housekeeping. First of all, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial planner, a financial analyst, or in any way, shape, or form having to do with finances. I'm just a small business owner that has a keen interest in cryptocurrency and digital assets. Secondly, if you do us a big favor, just asking for one of three things. If you could like the video, that'd be great. Comment below. It doesn't matter what you comment. It could be that you liked the video or the video sucked or it was good or bad, whatever. Just make sure that it's relatable to the video that we're talking about. And also subscribe. Now, you don't have to do all three of those things, but if you could do one of those things, that would be fantastic. So today, this is huge news. This is huge news. And when I saw this, I was taken aback because the first paragraph just says, SEC asked Blockforce to pull a Bitcoin ETF. And I was like, well, great, another ETF that just went down the toilet. Who the hell cares? But when I read the article, that's when I'm like, wow, we are this effing close to an ETF. And I'm going to tell you why. Secondly, we're going to talk about China and how its central bank is going to roll out a central bank digital coin of the Yuan, and how that's going to affect not only China and its people, but how it's going to affect America and the rest of the countries, because China is doing something smart and it's going to force everybody's hand. And finally, we're going to talk about, I want to say thanks to everybody for signing up, becoming a member, or becoming or subscribing to the channel. We have passed over the 1,000 subscriber mark, so thank you. This channel is only a couple weeks old, so that's not too shabby. So thanks a lot, and I want to go over some of the things that are happening on the comment section, which is spam and sometimes just a lot of hate of XRP and or Bitcoin and or Ethereum and or whatever, and the goddamn Prism coin that people keep talking about, which is definitely spam. All right, let's get into it. So first off, the SEC said, look, Blockforce, you got to pull this ETF. We're going to let you file it, but you got to pull it. So to me, I'm thinking to myself, why the hell would they do that? That makes no sense. Why would you go through all the work? Well, here's what happened. So the proposal was filed under the Investment Company Act of 1940. What the hell is that? Which would have resulted in becoming automatically approved within 7 days. Hey, I like that, right? 2.5 months. They say, hey, let's do an ETF, and Bitcoin is a part of it, 15% wise. And within 2.5 months, boom, we get an ETF. Sounds pretty good. SEC said, yeah, you can file that, but you got to pull it out. So when I was reading this, I'm like, why did they do that? I don't understand. So let's keep going. Yet the firm followed the regulator's suggestion and pulled the proposal just a few days after it was filed. They said, and this is what he's talking about the SEC, we like the idea, but we're going to ask you to pull it immediately because we don't want to see it get approved just yet. And this is what Blockforce CEO Eric Ervin said. They were really interested and engaged on it. They came back to us and said, if you did it as an interval fund, then you might have a chance. With an interval fund, investors can only get in and out of the fund once per period, usually weekly, monthly, or quarterly, making it less vulnerable to manipulation. The regulator worried a fund that traded throughout the day and had open liquidity would be subject to manipulation, which is exactly what's happening in the market right now. So I know we did a video yesterday and talked about how the US government is coming down and they're going to get into the game and they're going to propose regulation. There are 22 bills on the docket that are going to come about in 2020. And I know some of you had responded to me. They said, what are you talking about? Why would you want the government to come into this space and regulate? Well, I'll say it again. There are so many scams and there is so much effing manipulation going on by whales and this, that, and the other. Scams, ICOs, all this crap that has to get cleaned up. And by the government coming in, SEC coming in and saying, hey, we want you to do this because our job is to make sure people don't get screwed over, okay? So if they come in and they do that, great. Now, is this going to allow the government to look into our finances a little bit harder? Yes. Yes, it is, exactly. Look, I'm not throwing around millions of dollars across countries here and there. I'm just some small guy, just some small business guy who likes cryptocurrency, who thinks it has a definite future, who can see the future and how things will actually go about. And this is a good thing. Now, if this all rolls in and rolls together, I agree. Yeah, it's going to be a kind of a pain in the ass at first, but look, we need to have this happen. Because if this happens, then we get all those institutions that go, you know what, I'm not sure about this, these scams going on. I'm not sure about this manipulation. We have clients, and we can't screw over our clients to get into Bitcoin when whales are manipulating everything. That's not how it's going to work here. Regulation comes in, that shit goes away. Now, just like I talked about before, can we get rid of all manipulation and all scams? No, we can't. It's just like a speed zone. If it says 60, people are still going to go 70 or 80, right? But you minimize the amount of problems you have by putting in regulation. That's just my thought. Now, if you agree or disagree, put in the comments section. I love the comments section. Some of these things they're so funny. I mean, you guys have a keen sense of humor. I love it. I love to hear what people say, even when you guys are bashing me, talking about how I'm an. There was somebody that said I'm high on XRP hopium. I thought that was pretty funny. That was pretty good. But yeah, put it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you say. Moving down, let's see what else we said. Ervin, this was the CEO, predicts the industry will eventually get a pure Bitcoin ETF passed when the SEC's leadership changes, and envisions current chairman Jay Clayton, who is now in the SEC, stepping down, and Commissioner Hester Crypto Mom Pierce become the new head. And when I saw that, I was like, who the hell is Hester Pierce? So I had to look her up, and here's who she is. Hester Pierce is an American lawyer specializing in financial market regulation. Pierce currently serves as a commissioner on the SEC. She previously served as the director of the Financial Markets Working Group at George Mason University Mercator Center, blah, blah, blah. So I thought to myself, well, why is she so important? Well, apparently she is called Crypto Mom, and she put out I think this is before U.S. Congress, and she said that the U.S. is slipping behind all these other countries. And if we don't wake up and start to get regulation in place and start to move forward with blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, digital assets, we're in the past, fellas. So get your shit together. And, well, she obviously didn't say it like that, but she did say these types of things. And in the next article where we talked about China, you're going to see that Hester Pierce was right. Last thing I'd like to talk about is this gentleman says a Bitcoin ETF is a perfect example of a non-correlated alternative asset that works well to balance out a portfolio of just stocks and bonds, Ervin said. And again, this is why you've got companies like Fidelity, legacy type of institution coming in. You got TD Ameritrade. And these are the companies, these are the financial institutions that know, hey, we've got a lot of, cryptocurrency is volatile, but holy crap, Bitcoin has been up 100%, just this crappy bear market. So if we can allocate 1 to 2% in our clients' funds, we can offload some of that risk, even though it is risky. If we just get 1 to 2 to 5%, we're good to go. We look like geniuses. And they are going to look like geniuses in 2020. So what this gentleman just said was the exact same thing that I had talked about in the previous video. If they can do these types of things, they can set themselves up for success. Not just the financial institutions, but the clients that they serve. All right, moving forward, let's go on to my next favorite article. China's digital currency isn't Bitcoin and is not for speculation, says central bank official. Now, I gotta tell you, if this was in 2017 and I saw this, I'd be like, crap, this is not good for us, because that's what Bitcoin's supposed to do, isn't it? It's supposed to be trustless, censorship resistant. Well, this is not going to be, that's for damn sure. But it's going to allow for electronic transfer of funds. It's on the blockchain. This is what it could do. And if all these people have it, well, where does Bitcoin go? Let's get into it. First of all, Bitcoin is a whole different animal, right? It's fungible, it's divisible, it's durable, it has scarcity, it's transferable, and it is censorship resistant. That is not what this central bank digital coin is going to be. But you have to remember, this is China. They're not going to allow that stuff. It's a communist country. This is what they're going to put in place, and they're going to ram it down their people's throats because that's the society that they live in. They are not in America. They are not in Europe. They are not in England and Australia. They're not in a free society. It is communism, my friends. So what they say goes. So let's scroll down a little bit before I get ahead of myself. Changchun, the central bank official in charge of overseeing China's digital yuan. I always want to say yuan, but I guess it's yuan. Says the digital currency won't be for speculation and will be distinct from Bitcoin. According to the report, Changchun speculation on its value. He also reiterated that the currency would not be backed by a basket of currency such as what Facebook is planning for their stablecoin Libra. So look, that's what we're here for. And you listening to this video, you're part of the 1%. You're a first adopter. You might be 0.5%. I mean, this is so new, but what we all are is speculators. So when we look at this, we're like, well, I'm not here to make pennies on the dollar, like with that crap Libra coin that's coming out. That is a centralized coin. So is this. Nobody's going to make money off of this, but it could be good for the Chinese people, and we're going to get into that next section. So the central bank official revealed that the design and function research for the digital yuan has been completed, and the next step will be in rolling out pilot programs. Also says no official timeframe for its launch. However, November venture capitalist Edith Young claimed China will definitely launch digital currency in the next 6 to 12 months. Great. So it's December 22nd, 2019. So maybe next year, December 2020, we might have it. Or maybe in May or June during the Bitcoin halving. Who knows? So my question was, how does this help China? And how does this help its people? Let's take a look. This is how it works. While this new form of digital money will bring a number of benefits to its users and the government. Here's how it works for the government. China's government will have the ability to follow all payments done with E-Yuan at all times. This is Big Brother at its highest level, right? If you are a government and you need to control your people, the easiest way to control your people is through media. That's why you see in China, they have bought up all the different media outlets, and it is a CCTV, it's closed circuit. Whatever you get for information, it's coming from the government. And the second way is finances. If you can control the money and the media, that's essentially what people think, see, do, spend. It is all over. And so that's great for China. They know exactly what's going on now. So it says here, this will be very helpful to the country's financial watchdogs, which will be able to detect criminal activities such as money laundering, tax evasion, and any other kind of fraudulent activity. So look, that's the good side. That's great. You're going to give up, or what happens here is the freedoms are suppressed for greater security. Do I agree with that? No, I do not. However, that is what's going to happen. As for the coin's users, all payments and interbank settlements would become significantly more secure and efficient. Sure. So how does that work? It would help the country's efforts to clean up as much as $341 billion of bad debt. God damn, every country's got debt like crazy. It will also solve some of China's biggest problems, such as the practice of pledging the same asset for multiple loans. With distributed ledgers' potential for storing and quickly retrieving this type of data, the country will become a lot more efficient identifying and eliminating this type of fraud. I'm going to get back to this note in a second. It'll also improve the situation for a lot of local businesses, which still trade discounted acceptance notes. Their digitization will also lead to a reduction of fraud, which will help businesses and the country in general move forward. So this is a very rosy picture of how it all works, right? I know that this is going to go through. There's going to be a central bank. They have a central bank digital coin. They're going to roll that out, going to ram it down the people's throats, and they're going to, each and every one of them is going to use it within China. So the thing that struck me here is that I always envisioned China as a very technological, advanced society, and that they have a lot of things under control. But remember, it's a communist country, so whatever we see is what they want us to see. But it says here, the biggest problem, such as the practice of pledging the same asset for multiple loans, which got me to thinking about this old phrase. If you believe that, I want to sell you a bridge. What does that mean? Here's an old story. If you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. In the 1800s, a surprising number of average Joes fell for scams. This guy, George C. Parker, would sell them the Brooklyn Bridge. He didn't do it just once or twice. He did it like twice a week for 6 months, which is pretty hilarious. Anyhow, the trick worked because Parker tended to target recent arrivals to Ellis Island. He'd pay off ship stewards for information about which families had money to spend and might be looking for real estate opportunities, and to sell them with a get-rich-quick scheme that was literally too good to be true, which is the same kind of crap that is going on in this space right now. And it's even going on in my comments section. So those spams and things like that, I filter them out. I'm also using a technology that YouTube has, which filters out these crap words. And I'm probably going to invest in something where I can get rid of most of this spam, because it's ridiculous. You shouldn't have to deal with this. Anyhow, Parker pulled his scam so often that New York City police regularly had to clear the bridge of toll booths set up by hapless owners, people who thought they actually owned the bridge. So I guess what's happening in China is that people are selling the same property, the same toll road, the same whatever to multiple people, and I guess it's not getting checked. Look, there's a reason why when you go to buy a house, if you've ever bought a house company, they're going to go through a lot of paperwork, and they have to check and balance and make sure that everything's in the up and up. And that's why it takes so goddamn long sometimes to close on a property. But it's for the best. Now it looks like China is not doing that, or they're lacking behind. And this is coming on the pipe. And you know that the U.S. government and all the different governments out there are looking at China going, wow, they're the first. What are we slipping? Yeah, we're slipping. We need to catch up with them in this blockchain technology, especially with the advantages that it can give to the government, which, yeah, it's going to suck. I got to admit, they're going to know everything about you. They're going to know a lot of different things. That's not ideal. But I got to tell you one thing. How do these blockchains talk to each other? How does if you digitalize the Mexican peso and the Russian ruble or whatever it is, or the euro, or the pounds, or the yuan, when you digitalize these all on its own blockchain, how do these blockchains all talk to each other to facilitate cross-border payments? I got a digital asset. It's called XRP. It works pretty good. It can settle most all cross-border payments in 2 to 3 seconds. It is on-demand liquidity, and it is coming. So if it's me, this is one of the reasons why I invest into XRP. If you're a Bitcoin maximalist, hey, who knows? I mean, Bitcoin might be the next big thing, but right now, these central bank digital coins, they are taking over, and every country is going to put them out, and there has to be something that allows them to all talk. That's just how I see it. All right, and then moving on to the last section. I just want to say thanks, everybody, because we're such a new channel. We didn't expect to kind of take off like we did. We didn't expect to see, 10,000, 12,000 views on one video. I remember our first video that we put out, we got 4 views, and I was excited. I'm like, hey, 4 people watch this video. That's awesome. But as time has gone on, I think it's because in the first week or so, we tried to be more proper and more like giving out the news. But in this day and age, who can you trust? If you're in America and you look at all the different media outlets, they're just a bunch of effing liars, and they're all owned by somebody. So I think people are just sick and tired of people that are bought and sold by huge corporations and are pretty much lying to them. So we just thought to ourselves, why would we do this? Let's just be who we are and just say it like it is and be a straight shooter. So that's how we did it. And I think that resonates with some of you. And I want to say, me personally, thank you so much for signing up, liking, and commenting. It's a big thing. Next thing is about these all this spam. This was just the first 500, and they found 72 likely spams. So we try to go through them. We try to get rid of like the stuff that talks about Prism and Richard's magical signals and shit like that. Look, if you got it, like there's some here like Kurt here, he's a good guy. I talked to him. But then this person, Ellison Paul, they mention the word hex, and hex comes out as like potential spam. I don't know if it is or not. I like that guy Richard Hart. I think he's hilarious. I liked him when he bombarded on Tone Vase in that debate. God damn, that was funny. Anyhow, and then Prism, and you want to be YouTube friends and shit like that. No, I do not. So that's just what we're going to try to bring to the channel, try to clean up all this crap and go from there. Anyhow, if you guys, thanks again for listening to the rants. What do you guys think? Just put it in the comments below. And if you could like the video, that's huge. If you could comment, fantastic. And if you could subscribe, that is great news. That's great stuff. So thanks again. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.